Okay, today was the official reveal, and I want to talk about what my opinions of Disney Springs are. Now, we had a little bit of an information in yesterday's video that apparently no one's watched yet, so, okay. But here's the thing. I'm going to talk about this in depth. We're going to discuss some possibilities, and we're also going to discuss some things I'd like to see out of the place. Now, obviously, if you go back and watch my plus and minus I did on Pleasure Island, there's a lot of things I would have done that brought the clubs back. Well, as of this, it doesn't look like the clubs are coming back, and as a matter of fact, the buildings are going to be repurposed. Some are repurposed, and some of them will be destroyed. So, via the concept art that we've seen, the only building that looks to be still standing in the place that it is Mannequins. Now, there was some talk on the island recently about the stage in front of Comedy Warehouse. The acts were supposed to meet with Disney management just to see if they have a future with the company, see if they're going to be moved somewhere else. That's like a red flag right there. The area may be gotten rid of sooner rather than later. But I don't know exactly what's going into there, and I don't think that Disney actually knows what's going actually in there. So, apparently today, our chairman of Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, Mr. Staggs, decided he wanted to go to the Disney Parks blog today to make the official announcement. And I'm going to read you this announcement pretty much verbatim here. Earlier today, we unveiled plans for Disney Springs, the exciting multi-year transformation of downtown Disney and the Walt Disney World Resort. And I'd like to give you all a glimpse into what we've got planned. Walt Disney World Resort guests and local Florida residents have been enjoying downtown Disney for more than 30 years. But we knew we had an opportunity to reimagine and reinvent this corner of the resort. We spent a good deal of time thinking through just what we want this area to be, and how to bring it to life, to make it a place unlike any other. And we have even scrapped a few preliminary plans at Pier Wharf that we felt didn't measure up to our aspirations for this place. Our fundamental goal was to create a welcoming, comfortable space where families can enjoy time together and instantaneously feel right at home. We want to give them opportunities to relax, to be entertained, to wander in and out of unique and distinctive shops, or enjoy a world-class dining experience. And because we are Disney, we've anchored the entire experience around a story that gives us the ability to deliver on the legendary placemaking and creativity for which we are known. The result is Disney Springs, a timeless and vibrant place that celebrates the turn-of-the-century lakeside towns that dotted the Florida landscape. Someone's already made this comparison, and I'm going to make it too. It looks a lot like Celebration to me, to be totally honest. So, the story of Disney Springs begins at our new town center, which is oriented around a series of bubbling natural springs that first attracted settlers to the area. From there, the town grew to encompass 3 additional neighborhoods: the Landing, Marketplace, and West Side, each with its own distinct charm and atmosphere. For more about these districts, click here, and of course there's a link there. Of course, if you didn't know, the Landing was the old Pleasure Island, so we'll get to that. Once complete, Disney Springs will expand from 75 to more than 150 shopping, dining, and entertainment venues, featuring some of the world's most iconic brands and restaurants. Construction is set to begin next month, expansion will be opening in phases, and we expect to complete our development in 2016. Great, the year before I moved down to Florida permanently. Awesome. We look forward to sharing more details in the future here on the Disney Parks blog. Okay. So basically, this is what we're looking into, and I want to further reiterate this statement here. The Town Center, which offers a sophisticated mix of shopping and dining along with a promenade where guests can relax, refresh, and reconnect. The colorful and thriving commercial district, that makes me laugh, called The Landing, where inspired dining and beautiful waterfront views. The family-friendly marketplace that will continue to delight guests of all ages by combining new experiences such as a new over-the-water pedestrian causeway, along with classic Disney favorites, including an expanded World of Disney, which of course we mentioned on yesterday's video, and a West Side that provides an exuberant atmosphere with lively entertainment, along with a series of new elevated spaces that provide both shade and an overlook to the activities below. Apparently, this project will create an estimated 1,200 construction jobs and nearly 4,000 operational jobs. We'll get more in details in the future, but here's basically what we got here. Now, I mentioned a lot of the things that were coming to Disney Springs, like the new parking structures that we're getting, and according to the Orlando Sentinel, apparently these will be free parking structures. 2 giant parking structures for Disney Springs that are going to be completely free. So that has definitely been something that has plagued downtown Disney since day one, the parking situation. Way back in the days of Pleasure Island when it opened back in 1989, you pretty much have to realize the fact that this area was really not good for pedestrian traffic or any sort of traffic anyway, because it basically had no parking. And the parking was coveted, and people would just park there, and they just bomb out, leave their vehicle there, and they'd come back at the end of the day after they toured all the parks and did everything they needed to do. This right now, a new parking structure, 2 new parking structures, will help eliminate this problem. And I don't think this is a bad thing at all. I think the fact that we're getting new parking structures for downtown Disney is a good thing. 100% a good thing. But let's talk about some of the things that we hear rumors about coming in. We're talking about iconic brands. And I have a couple images here. Obviously, I'm not going to show you here because it's too hard to do. But I'm going to show, well, I'll do what I can here. I'm going to show you these 2 images. Now, this is the first one. If you can see it, hopefully you can. If you can't, I'm sorry. And here's the second one. So, hopefully you can see some of those. Now, if you can't, I'm sorry. I'm shooting on an iPod, so you get what you pay for. But anyway, you see a couple really big brands right up top. Right off the get-go, we are going to supposedly get an Apple store. And you know what? If there was going to be an Apple store in the downtown Disney area, the place that I would have put it would have been where Splitsville now resides. So I don't know where that's going to go. I don't know where any of these places are going to go. I see a new Lego store. I see a World of Coca-Cola we're going to be getting soon. I see an American Girl store. I see Dior. I see Coach. I see New Balances on here. It's really interesting because there's the D-Tech on there as well. There's Beautifully Disney. And a couple interesting ones. There's Disney Baby. And here's the one that strikes right on this first page. Well, there's a Paul Frank store I can see here too. One of the things that really jumps out at me is Marvel. Now, think about it from this perspective. Obviously, on this corner of the world, on this side of the country, because of the deal with Universal, Disney cannot use the Marvel characters on this side of the country in the theme parks. However, there's nothing stating that they cannot open up a Marvel store, because obviously there are Marvel products being sold in all of the gift shops around property. So we're going to get ourselves a Marvel store, which is going to make a lot of people very, very happy. So, let's go to the second page here. And I'm going to talk about the fact that obviously Raglan Road's listed and Splitsville's listed. I'm guessing these are things that are going to stay on the west side. But there's a couple of things that jump out at me. Apparently, there is a placeholder for an Italian restaurant, and a restaurant from the Food Network, and a Disney bakery. Obviously, these are not the names that they're going to be using. These are placeholder names for the concept that's going to be come up with eventually. There's a Disney burger joint, apparently, and something called Disney Character Dining, which could be anything. And then we have something that really makes a lot of people happy, given the fact that it's oh so successful in California, and that would be Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar. Trader Sam's has been really good and has done very, very good business for the Walt Disney Company in Anaheim. And honestly, I have no problem with it coming to this side of the country, and I welcome it because at this point it looks like it's going to be the closest thing we're getting to the return of the Adventurers Club. Because basically Trader Sam's, in essence, is a bar-restaurant combination that has elements, and I mean small elements, but they're there, of the Adventurers Club. So, But like was said on Twitter earlier today, if you want to wait for the Adventurers Club, Mystic Manor is opening up soon anyway, so there's always that. Here's another thing you're looking at. You see two things that jump out at me immediately. One is Walt's Place. Now, I can guess by the iconic writing, the iconic way of utilizing cursive, and the fact that it's a very unmistakable signature, this will be a Walt Disney themed restaurant, which is something that this country has needed for a long time. Now, this is done pretty well at Main Street USA at Disneyland Paris. And actually there it's called Walt's, which is pretty much kind of like Club 33, like the same style ambiance, but a little less exclusive than 33 is. So we'd be getting a Walt's, and that would be awesome because we need more Walt Disney connection to the parks. And obviously, Disney Springs isn't a theme park, but it could have theme park-like experiences. Obviously, we have Characters in Flight still. We have Splitsville. No mention about what's going to happen with Disney Quest. I have a feeling it's on its last legs at some point. One of these stores may end up in that space, maybe potentially the Apple Store, maybe in the Disney Quest spot, because it's not really mentioned in any of the pictures that have been released on the internet. Everything that has been released before the public has been able to see it. So, who knows what's going to happen with Disney Quest. Obviously, Cirque du Soleil stays, and I don't know if we get a brand new show. Hopefully we do sometime down the road. But that's one of the things I like to see, a Walt Disney themed restaurant. Walt's Place coming very soon to Disney Springs. Now here's the other thing. Now we're talking about we don't have any nightlife. Alright. Now here's the thing. Most people don't want to go to Boardwalk and go to Jelly Rolls or Atlantic Dance Hall. But if they really want to, and they don't want to go off property, they don't want to go to downtown Orlando and go to any of the clubs there, or they don't want to go over to City Walk at Universal, then they'll settle for this. And that's how they get their dance on. Because obviously Splitsville is not working very well as a dance environment. It's not as popular as it rightfully could be. There is a thing here, though. There is a spot at Mannequins for a brand new establishment that is very popular out on the West Coast. It's called the Edison. And basically, from what I can tell, the Edison is a very ritzy, very swanky place. And I'm going to read the description right here off their website. The Edison celebrates an era of invention and imagination, the blending of science, art, and industry. Enjoy artisanal cocktails and a select menu of signature food in an industrial cathedral crafted from the architectural artifacts of LA's first private power plant. Okay, this is interesting. Here's the kicker. Experience LA's legendary nightlife. Bing! We have a buzzword we're looking for. Nightlife. In one of the world's most unique and visionary spaces. And I look at this place, honestly, and it's really interesting because they're going to have to tweak this a bit, obviously, because I look and there's a dress code for this place, honestly. I don't know if Disney Springs could handle a restaurant with a dress code, but it could work via a club atmosphere that would bring in a lot of locals as well as tourists. Now, basically, the Edison does not allow you to wear athletic wear of any kind, shorts, jerseys, hoodies, ball caps, flip-flops, sandals, tennis shoes, or athletic shoes, t-shirts, collarless shirts, or torn or baggy jeans. Men must wear dress shoes and have collared shirts on. It's basically V&A's dress code, or the dress code on Paolo or Remy on DCL, but I'm not exactly sure if this is going to work or not, but this is what we're looking at, folks. We're looking at the Edison to supposedly come to Disney Springs, and by all rights, I'm thinking, and a lot of people agree with me on this, that if it is coming to Disney Springs, it's going to take over Mannequins, because that is the perfect size building that's already there that you don't have to rebuild and reconstruct in order to bring the Edison to the East Coast. So it looks like a very interesting place. You have to have reservations, obviously. I mean, this place visually looks stunning, to be totally honest. This old-timey website. Look at this. This thing is incredible. Look at this. There's the, right here. There's restrooms in the corner. There's the stage, the lab, the well, the game room, There's the main bar. There's the Tesla Lounge, which looks like a very special place. The Ember Parlor, the music room, and the Generator Lounge. Look at that. It looks awesome. And I hoped you got to see some of that. But the Edison looks amazing, and it's something that I think would work really, really well here. However, the dress code may not be really good for Disney Springs. But then again, dress up for nightlife. Obviously, you see everyone dressed to the nines going to bongos, so you go from that direction. Disney Springs, okay, I'll have to reserve my official judgment for 2016 when everything's completely in. And when I start hearing more news about concretely what is coming to the area, what exactly we're getting, and what we're getting rid of in order to get this. Now, real quick, I haven't eaten there yet, and I will in September because obviously very soon I will not have the option anymore. Pollo Campero, I'm going to be heading there in September because it's closing soon. And I've never had Captain Jack's, but not really anything on the menu, and I'm not really a seafood guy, so it's probably not going to happen. But there's a lot of things that are coming down, a lot of things are going to change in the next several years. So the next 3 years were going to be really interesting at the former Downtown Disney, now Disney Springs. And it's going to be interesting to see exactly how it takes shape, honestly. It won't come up overnight, obviously. It's not going to be that quick of a change, but it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens and exactly what does come in. And real quickly, honestly, I was doing something before this video started, and I couldn't find it, so I couldn't show you. But 1993, I got a Pleasure Island shirt. And I have worn that shirt for several trips down. And I'm a huge fan of the Comedy Warehouse. As anyone knows about me, I wear my Comedy Warehouse pin I got a couple days before it closed. And I wear it proudly every year, and I get a lot of cast members that question me about it, and then we talk about Comedy Warehouse, then we talk about the Adventurers Club, we talk about Pleasure Island in general. Here's the thing. SavePleasureIslandBlogspot.com. I've been watching it since before we found out the bad news, the PI was closing. And I have been against Pleasure Island Club's closing, obviously, because I love the Comedy Warehouse so much. And I like the Adventurers Club as well. I could care less about the dance clubs, and I'm not a dance guy, and I never will be. But they had their place, honestly, and they were very busy, especially Mannequins and 8-Tracks. And Motion, actually, at some point as well. But still, I will reserve my judgment for when everything is in. Like right now, Fantasyland isn't done yet, obviously. We're still waiting on the Mine Coaster. And once the Mine Coaster is done, everyone can make official judgment on if it was a success or if it was a failure. I can't say it was a failure because I love Be Our Guest so much. Be Our Guest is incredible. I love the Beauty and the Beast section of New Fantasyland. Mermaid is fine. It's fine as is. It's just, I love the queue more than I love the ride, if that makes any sense, to be totally honest. And I'm not an apple guy, but LeFou's Brew is actually pretty good. It's no butterbeer, but it's pretty good. And I like New Fantasyland, I like Storybook Circus. I thought it was done really well. But now we're all waiting on the Mine Ride. And you know, the pictures I've seen lately, I don't think it's too hard to believe that there actually might be a soft open before 2013 is over. They're talking about spring of 2014. I've seen that. I've seen the first of the year. I honestly think it's going so fast that we actually might get one before the year is over. And I think that's exactly what's going to end up happening too. So, I just wanted to talk about that. I want my clubs back, to be totally honest. I don't care where they are. I don't care if it is at Hollywood Studios, at the Premier Theater, over the holidays. Actually, over the holidays isn't good enough. I want it back full-time. I don't care how it works. I want the Comedy Warehouse back. I know there's reason to have improv comedy back at the Walt Disney World Resort, and I'm telling you, it's do really well. Now, if we get Trader Sam's, like everyone's saying that we're going to, we have an Adventurers Club mindset right there. So give us some sort of a Comedy Warehouse. Come on. I mean, honestly, I know a lot of people love it just as much as I do. So there's always that. And hopefully we can get more information as we go along in the construction process of the new Disney Springs. So I'll make my official reservation exactly when I know a little bit more about what's up with the location. So you'll get my opinions later on down the road. Now tomorrow, we've got The Call, and we've got Burt Wonderstone. Finally, I waited a year for this movie. And that's going to be that. I'm going to watch TNA Impact in just a few minutes, and tomorrow we're going to review it before I go to the theater to watch the movies. And then, of course, we're going to talk other things this weekend. Like I said, we've got AJ's Weekend Movie Reviews coming up, as well as talking about Celebrity Apprentice, and of course Monday Night Raw. All sorts of things still to come this weekend, so stay tuned as usual. And thank you for watching, and until tomorrow, that's all I got to say about that.